This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the sea, of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth. To the hopeful elect, Shalom, the 144,000, and the rest of the great multitude of men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days, Shalom. I'm the brother Damar Gibar here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and we're in these times to where, this devil Esau Edom, he's about to come down with his great wrath. All right. And we see, all of these uprisings, we see the coming of this digital age. We see a lot of these, chaoses, manufactured chaoses, the flames of civil war, happening all over the earth, mainly in the UK, over there in Bangladesh, over there in Venezuela, and other various parts of the world. You see, this devil was ultimately trying to usher in this NWO and trying to bring in this digital beast system. But first, he has to bring in complete chaos and complete confusion. And like I was about to say, we see the state of the stock market, and all this shit is not just happening, but randomly. All this stuff is being boiled up and being orchestrated right before the so-called elections over here in America. You see, and eventually you're going to start seeing, civil war taking place over here in America pretty soon. They're about to start using a lot of these migrants, a lot of these sleeper cells, a lot of these, individuals who crossed the border, and have been released here into the States to start doing particular things that's going to, create certain situations like you see over there in the UK, which a lot of that is being facilitated, is being, orchestrated by the powers that be, for many different reasons. But one of the other many reasons they're going to start using a lot of these, civil war type of scenarios and chaos and calamity is to start to start to point the finger at people on the internet, people who make particular type of content that they can point the finger at and say that it's because of your content, because of what you're saying, because of your so-called misinformation that is stoking the flames of hatred and civil war and violence, and it's going to give them a reason to ultimately come down with that great wrath, to start really, rounding up so-called dissidents and putting people in these camps that they have built all throughout the United States of America. And like I said, and they're going to use a lot of this civil war, a lot of this chaos, ultimately to have a way to, silence a lot of the naysayers and people who have particular platforms online that are exposing the agenda of these elites, which I've been watching, numerous brothers' videos where you keep hearing over there in London, they're talking about, coming down on people with misinformation, coming down on individuals who are helping and stoking the flames of these riots and are riling people up or getting people to, question or, come up against the agenda. And I was watching one brother from New York, I think his name is Yashalam. He was doing a video with the digital system that is being rolled out over there in Thailand, and how the president was like, basically, they're going to start, bringing consequences on those people who are negative, or anybody that speaks out against this new digital beast system that digital system that they're trying to bring in. You can be arrested, you can be detained, you're going to be punished for bucking up against the agenda. And this is a huge talking point that I've been hearing from the WEF and these elites about, coming down hard upon those that are, opposing and calling out this beast system that these devils are trying to implement, man. Because he knows that his time is short. He knows that he's running out of time. All right. So now he's about to really, push forward with this agenda. And we're about to start seeing a lot of crazy shit going on, man. All right. And I say that because I've been watching, particular things that are happening in these countries where people are rioting, you're starting to see very draconian measures being laid out. Now you see over there in India, they're overthrowing that government there, but the military was giving shoot on sight green lights, And what does it say here? No forgiveness. Maduro arrests 2,000 Venezuelan protesters, vows maximum punishment. You see, and this is what we're about to start seeing happen in a major way. All right, the more that this devil was rolling out with his new world order, the more the people are going to protest and be against it. They're about to start bringing in draconian measures, man, to start to bringing in military to enforce the will of these elites, man. And you got to be prepared to be, have the book thrown at you, or, deal with some heavy consequences, in these times to come for bucking up against the powers that be. All right. So like I said, we got to take a page out of what you see happening in Venezuela, what you see happening over there in Bangladesh, what you see happening over there in the UK, because it's all eventually going to come here. And we're seeing how these different dictators and people of power, how they're starting to deal with the citizens that are protesting, or that are calling it out, or that's not going along with it. They're about to start, like I said, they're going to have the green light to start shooting people. And here in Venezuela, he said he's vowing maximum punishment for any protester, right? Anybody that's against, their agenda. And it says post-election demonstrations in Venezuela continue as pressure mounts against disputed President Nicolas Maduro, who has firmly stood his ground amid ongoing calls to release voting details from the July 28th general election. You see, and what do you think is going to happen if Trump somehow loses this this presidential? If Trump loses the presidency and they give it to Kamala, man, people are going to literally go absolutely apeshit. People are going to protest. People are going to, demand receipts. They're going to demand answers. And we know that, these devils are not going to have the answers that the people want. So, and we know that they want complete and utter, chaos and confusion and perplexity to take place so that they can be justified in bringing in executive orders, locking things down and forcing this new world order down everybody's throat. So we have to pay close attention to what's happening with these different countries, because we know that these elites, they run the same playbook all over the world, man. So we see what they're doing over there in Venezuela. So don't think for 1 minute that the powers that be here won't do it here. It says on August 3rd, Maduro announced that 2,000 civilian arrests have been made and denounced those who contest his administration. This time there will be no forgiveness, Maduro said during a Saturday rally of his supporters in Caracas. We have 2,000 prisoners captured from there. They will go into Tocoran and Tocayito prisons, maximum punishment justice. During what Maduro supporters called a grand national march for the defense of peace, allies of the disputed head of state gathered outside the presidential palace of Miraflores while Maduro delivered a fiery address that condemned the opposition-led protests. Maduro called for the arrest of opposition leader Maria Corina Machado and presidential candidate Edmundo Gonzalez for electoral fraud, and demanded a criminal sentence of 15 to 30 years in prison. Court authorities in Caracas reportedly issued an arrest warrant for Machado on July 31st for challenging the accuracy of the election results and encouraging protests. So you see, so these devils are starting to come up against their political adversaries, man. And hey, the same thing can happen here if they give it to Kamala and she wins, and Trump is speaking out. He's calling bullshit. He's calling fraud. They can easily accuse him of, just like they did with the January 6th thing. But we know this time, if they steal the election from Trump, it's going to make January 6th look like a walk in the park, and they'll be able to use that to throw Trump in jail, throw the protesters in jail, just like they did in January 6th. But this time, it'll be more on a deadlier and draconian way. They might this time, just like they did here in Venezuela. Pakistan or wherever the hell that was. India. Give the green light for the military to shoot anybody that's going out beyond curfew. You see? It says, regardless, demonstrators are standing their ground after a week of protests, saying they believe there is evidence showing Gonzalez won the July general election. It says, standing on a truck surrounded by other members of the nation's anti-Chavez coalition, the Democratic Uniparty platform, Machado appeared before a crowd of opposition supporters on Saturday to encourage Venezuelans to fight for election integrity in the country. After 6 days of brutal repression, they thought they were going to silence us, stop us, or intimidate us. Look at their response, Machado posted alongside a video of the opposition rally on social media. And you see the same thing is going to happen here in Babylon, man. They're going to orchestrate some type of event to where it's going to cause these people here in America to rise up. All right? And this is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. And sedition means a rising up against the government. And we know that's going to happen here if Trump doesn't get into office, or if they steal this election, or if they put another bullet in Trump's brain. We know these people are going to go absolutely apeshit. You see? It says, and invading one another, they shall not regard their king or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see, and we know prophetically this is something that's going to take place here in Babylon the Great, but we don't know exactly what's going to be the reason of why. Like I said, it could be Trump losing the election. It could be him being assassinated. It could be because the financial collapse, or they bring in another lockdown, or whatever the situation might be. We know it's going to lead to this taking place in this country. And we know by looking at how these other nations and their leaders are reacting, that America is going to react in the same particular manner, man. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. You see? And this is what these devils are cooking up right now. A way to further destabilize and bring all type of chaos and confusion, anarchy, civil war, protests, so that they can be justified and, forcibly bringing in this new world order. Like I said, bringing in the national, these UN troops, having this form of military, military set up to crush the opposition, to crush protesters, and throw a lot of you people into these concentration camps, and to come up against any political dissidents or any of the enemies that have been calling out and exposing the bullshit. And this, once the lights go out, they're going to be sending these squads out to go and to get particular people who have influence, and people who are speaking out against all of the wickedness and the corruption of this society. See? It says, much of this is due to the unprecedented economic crisis that has come to a head since Maduro became president. Venezuela's GDP contracted more than 75% between 2013 and 2021. According to the International Monetary Fund, it represents the single largest economic collapse for a nation not at war in nearly 5 years. And what do you think is going to happen to America? We see that America is on a direct path to this third world war with that situation with Iran and the so-called state of Israel, which that is getting hot and heavy and chippy. America is sending troops over there to Israel. They're sending aircraft carriers. They're doing all type of things because ultimately, it's going to lead to war. It says this in turn has ignited and blah 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 blah. Well. Let me see. But you see the draconian measures they're willing to go to stop the people from protesting and to come up against those that are trying to stop, particular, things from happening. And look at this one here. And it says what? Like I said, pay attention to what they're doing over there, because they're going to do it over here. It says Venezuela plans to create re-education camps for political dissidents. You see? And they're going to do the same shit here in America, man. We know they have the red list, the blue list, the yellow list. We know they have particular people that they deem undesirable, that they know are not going to bow down and get with the agenda. So they're going to have to just off them, make a public display out of them, public hangings, firing squad, executions to get, to control, the people. All right. And it says here, it says Isaiah chapter, and they're gonna have to go to that level here, especially here in America, because all of these Americans have guns. They're not like the Venezuelan people where they're gonna get rocks and throw rocks and maybe get knives and stab up a couple of people. But they know here in America, these Americans are armed to the teeth, all right, and they're gonna fight back and they're gonna shoot back. So they're gonna have to have a lot of draconian and hardcore measures in place to crush any political dissidents and uprising and protest of these people out here. All right, and it says what Isaiah 19:3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And here's the main point: and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Now we don't know who that'll be. Like I said, it could be Trump. They might let Kamala get it, and they're gonna let this thing spiral out of control and go completely downward until major draconian and executive orders are going to have to be passed to get things back in order. To like I said, they might give the green light to fire on citizens, on protesters, anybody that's breaking curfew. You hear they're talking about they're going to use the UN troops to enforce new lockdowns, and anybody that speaks out against or is against the new bird, stabbings, that you're going to have to be rounded up and put in prison or put in one of those re-education camps so that you can see the light, man. It says, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. And like I said, we don't know exactly how that's going to be, but we know it's going to be so bad out here that they're going to have to enforce particular rules like this in place to crush anybody that's participating in events that these elites don't want. All right, and this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. It says, and fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. Right, so some of us are going to get grabbed up. Some of us are on some of those lists. And if the opportunity comes and it's the Lord's will, some of us are going to be grabbed up and put into these concentration camps, into these re-education centers, to where they're going to try to get us to deny Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and bow down and take the micro C hip and show your allegiance to this new digital beast system. But some of us are going to have to be put to death because we're going to not bow down. We're not going to give in. It says that it shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And remember, it's just a trial of our faith, man. It's just the Lord putting us in a position to test to see if we truly believe and if we truly have faith in the words and the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, and our integrity, man. It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's what it's going to all be about, remaining faithful even in the midst of all hell that's coming, man. All right. So I just wanted to just do this quick lesson, just showing you, the draconian measure that these countries, these places are taking in order to bring in this new world order, man. One of their main things is that they're going to want to get rid of anybody with an outside viewpoint, anybody exposing the truth, anybody that's, exposing this bullshit, man, or anybody that's fighting up against it. You're going to be made an enemy to this new world order system. And we see the type of things that are taking place in which they want to try to gain law and order and keep the control over it and over you. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit in me to do this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified. Stay prayed up. Shalom.